What was the fiction in that quiz? It was so great because it was all random. Hold on the F9 button. Intervals.
Actual baby weights.
Because I actually knew the baby weights. I don't know the baby weights, right? But how could you justify me saying this is the baby weight and this is the standard deviation? How could we get away with saying that? Remember, I typed it into, you may have read it, you may have also skipped over it. How many babies have been weighed?
20.
Not in your sample, but overall.
Lots.
Lots. Well, that's a good answer. Lots. Millions, maybe, at least. We could probably say tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions in America, I'm guessing, over 100 years or so. So, if you've sampled millions, even millions, what's going to happen to your margin? It's going to shrink down to essentially nothing, and we can pretend it's just 7.67 pounds. Maybe we're off by 1/100 of a pound or whatever. That's not going to change with our. So it was a bit of fiction, but nonetheless, I still think even with fiction, it's realistic enough to drive home the point of what confidence is. Thank you, friends. All right. I don't know how many more mandatory quizzes we'll have. That one was one I definitely wanted to get done because it's such a nice, just like, tighten a screw down, lock confidence in, and then build off of it. So we'll see if there's any more. I doubt it at this point. I can't see why I would have any more, but maybe I'll think of something. But I'll let you know. I'll put it in big bold caps like I did this time. All right, let's switch back to here. So what I want to do now is I want to start getting into why we would care about the other type of error and mitigating that and measuring all these errors. Because there's always going to be an error possibility. And I just got done telling you now there's two ways to be wrong. And obviously, I just thought 4 fingers. 2 ways to be wrong. And we want to make sure we make both of those as small as possible. Or if we can't do that because of cost parameters, at least pick the one we're more willing to accept and make the other one smaller. For example, if you know a type, don't worry about type 1 and type 2 at this moment. But if you know a type 1 error is something you have to avoid like the plague, then let type 2 get larger. If you can live with a type 2, let it get larger. There's no problem with that. Because what's going to happen is if you increase the chance of a type 2, you will automatically, mathematically decrease the chance of a type 1. So if you need to definitely avoid that, let the other one get bigger if you can live with it. And we'll have a lot, and vice versa. We'll have lots of examples of this as we go through. I've poured through some research to get you guys some headlines. And the studies I don't care about yet. I've got 3 studies, the texts of the studies here, and analyses here, but this is just painting a picture for right now up here. Studies show, that's when you have to, your ears should perk up whenever you read that now. Studies show, really? What do they show? Just check the headline. Diet may trigger adverse behavior in children. As a sufferer of ADHD, who read number 40 was what used to do me in, I firmly believe this headline, anecdotally. I don't know if I believe it statistically, which means I'm not sure it could be replicated past, say, my own experiences and my mom's horror stories of when I was tiny. But whether or not I believe it, how would they have done this? How would they have decided this, do you think? Studies show diet may trigger adverse behavior in children. How would a study like that be set up, do you think?
You'd have to put kids on diets and monitor them.
What kind of diets?
No sugar or...
Okay, good. I like this, Elizabeth. Let's come over here. So we're just getting some ideas, right? We're just getting some ideas.